Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome on our platform. I am Sudhir, and this is an interview with Dr. Bob Maughon. He is the Executive Vice President, Sustainability, Technology, and Innovation at SABIC. Bob, let me begin this discussion by asking you to share with us, your own journey at SABIC and the most exciting part of working with a company like that, which is known as one of the biggest and the youngest chemical companies in the world. So, how would you describe your experience at SABIC to begin with?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's been a fantastic period, I'll be honest with you. As you probably know from my background, I spent a little over 20 years with Dow before coming to SABIC, which was also a great experience. But I was excited by the opportunity to come to a company that has a history of growth, right? Significant growth, as I think you highlighted over the last 40 years, and huge growth aspirations, right? A company focused on a mindset around growth. But also what impressed me the most with making the transition was also the commitment to sustainability as an integral part of that growth story, even back to my initial meetings with the CEO. Look, I think what's exciting about SABIC is, the commitment to technology and innovation as an enabler, a support for the journey that we've gone on from really, back to the early days in licensing of technology to help facilitate the advantage feedstock in the region, to really driving focus on licensing out our technologies to our growth projects. So, to me, it's been an exciting journey to be a part of seeing that aspiration, seeing it come to fruition, a commitment to talent in the region and globally, commitment to growth, commitment to sustainability. For me, a wonderful experience and a great team to be a part of.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that answer, Bob. Let me ask you, SABIC, from an India perspective, SABIC has a global technology center and large technology center based in India. Can you tell us more about the center and what exactly is the role that you see this technology center playing in India within the SABIC's larger global research and technology ecosystem? What is its importance?
Yeah,
what is the larger play there?
Yeah, great. Look, this is one of our most critical research centers. So, I think one of the things that SABIC has done a tremendous job with is being committed to the region, being committed to the talent in the region. I think SABIC has a history of over 20, 25, 26 years within the region, investing in facilities. The research center has had over $100 million of investment in that center. And it really houses, right today, around 300 researchers in very, very broad array of skill sets, right? So this is one of our largest centers. And what's unique about it is the concentration of key skill sets there, right? So if you think about the role that center serves, and it is going through a bit of a change, but I can kind of give you perspective of the competencies that are there and where we're going to maybe focus even more going forward. But it has today, that center houses our key expertise and key engineering competencies, like process development, process design and development, so PDPs, licensing out capability, strong engineering competency there. Life cycle assessments, which is really a key enabler for sort of the disciplined sustainability thinking. That work is housed out of India for us globally. A lot of our product testing for both durability and performance and lifetime, as well as product safety, is really also housed significantly at that site, right? So strong analytical and testing capabilities, understanding of the global regulatory footprints. So there are a lot of capabilities that are unique to the region and are leveraged globally, right? And those are some of the ones I would highlight: the engineering competency, the life cycle thinking, the product capability. But at the end of the day, there's a strong product development expertise in the region, also strong application development capabilities, both for India, but also for Southeast Asia as well, and growth in the broader Asia region. But also in support of efforts in the other regions as well, right? So if you think about some of the areas where we have key application development, it's in areas like 5G, like solar, like auto, and the transition to electric vehicles, to water management, to packaging and durable goods. So it's a strong capability of application development that we will continue to invest in, actually. And as we grow, both in India, but also in the broader Southeast Asia, we have to continue to invest, right, to support that. When it comes to process and product capabilities, also strong expertise, right, in those areas. And just highlight a few areas, some of our key work on technologies like crude to chemicals, like plastic recycling, like the expertise is housed at the site. So it touches a lot of our petrochemical footprint. It touches our specialties polymer footprint, as well as a growing footprint for our agronutrients business in the region as well. So strong investment in greenhouse capability, testing and application of our agronutrient material. So it touches all of our key strategic business units, but it really builds on some core areas where I'd say India is leading globally, but then also where we have to have capability regionally to support our businesses. So tremendous capability. As we go forward, I think we're spending a lot of effort to make sure that we focus in the areas that are truly strengths around these engineering competencies, around application development, because as we grow, we also want to deepen the expertise in the region and have the region be leaders for us globally in these areas. And as I highlighted to you, like life cycle assessment is a good example. The region is our leading home for that competency. We need to build the pipeline for it. There's a strong ability of talent in the region to do that, and India should lead. That center should lead those activities. So, really proud of the team, the competencies there, the fact that we built that footprint to where we have it today. The key, as always, when you have these global sites is making sure that they're connected globally to the other centers that you're able to leverage in and out from these centers. And I think the team does a very good job at that.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. You said India should lead in some of these areas. And, I noted how you talk about applications, you're talking about things like 5G or solar or electric mobility. Do you see the government doing enough, when it comes to, placing India in the larger global map of efforts being taken globally? Do you see India doing enough on these areas? And I'm asking this because these are really important areas within the sustainability net. So where do you place India as such? When it comes to taking efforts?
Yeah, I guess I would look at it on two sides, right? I think this would be a fun debate to talk about this, right? I think there's huge opportunity in India. If I think about water management, if I think about solar, if I think about telecommunications, the market is there, the needs, the maturity of the economy is there. I think there are opportunities though for greater regulatory engagement, better specification. I think there's a role the government could play in helping to accelerate the standardization of some of these technologies in the region. And, that's a role that we try to play, obviously, with trying to position within the region around this. But I think there's an opportunity to accelerate more because for sure the market and the need exists, right? If you just take an example of, water management, right? I think, but it's an area where as we bring solutions, and it'll be the same topic when we talk about sustainability, like when we bring solutions in these spaces, we need support around standardization and the regulatory front to help enable the growth of those applications. So, I think it's a two-sided, coin in terms of the region, but we know how critical a market India is for us, right? And therefore we're committed to working closely with the regulators and with the communities to help enable that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I completely agree, Bob. Some of the work that has been done in India over the past few years on subjects like water, for example, wastewater management, for example, it's very good. These are the kind of things that have never happened in the past. But moving forward, talk about sustainability. Today we are at a juncture where industries and governments around the world they're becoming more and more alive towards sustainability concerns. Right, as a topic, it has moved from boardroom discussions to actual delivery on ground. So how is SABIC viewing its operations and products through a sustainability lens? Can you give some clarity on that?
Yeah, look, it's critical for us, right? And if I think you go back to the origin of the company, it actually has a sustainability foundation, right? Which is taking care of the flared gas in the region and actually, converting that to useful products. And so sustainability, is at the core of how we think about our operations. And I think that touches a number of factors. So when I think about sustainability, I think about it across kind of sort of four key pillars. One is, sustainable products, right? So product safety, product stewardship, delivering safer chemicals, safer products. Again, India, maybe make the connection that our team plays a critical role in the testing of our products, right? So that to me is sort of foundation one, making sure that what we give to our customers in the value chain is safe. The next part is, as you're aware of, circular plastics, right? And delivering around circular solutions. Look, we are a leading producer of plastics. We know the demands around addressing the end of life of plastics. And we see a key role for us in that equation, right? In terms of delivering solutions that can enable a realistic pathway on circular plastics. So it's a critical part of our thinking. If you look at our True Circle platform, which is our key platform for technologies in that space, it's an integrated set of solutions. It focuses on mechanical recycling. It focuses on advanced recycling solutions. It focuses on the balance of bio-based feedstocks entering the mix. And it also focuses on design for recycling and ensuring that we're working with the value chain to come up with product solutions that more enable recycling with the products that we make. And it also includes, a pillar around services, right? Things like closed loop solutions where we work across the value chain to try to manage the waste from start to finish. So look, from a plastics perspective, we now throughout our whole portfolio around material development think about those issues. The next pillar I would talk about is the carbon economy and let's say carbon emissions, right? And obviously a lot of interest, especially after the recent COP26 and the focus around carbon neutrality, but it's a critical focus for our operations and our products. So significant investments in developing low carbon solutions, whether that's through the reduction in the production of CO2 or in the management and recycling of that CO2 or the storage of the carbon dioxide in our processes. So a considerable area of focus for us and our teams. The last pillar I would touch on sustainability, and again, a key role the region plays, is on products that enable the sustainable future, right? Materials for applications like solar, for EV, for automotive, and others, right? I think, we play a critical role in the industry of bringing solutions that help make that transition more affordable and more effective. So, it touches really, all of our portfolios. And, I think about those sort of four key areas, right? Around product safety, around circular carbon, circular plastics, and this, sustainable products, as part of the energy transition. But I think it's good to see that, we can play a part in that transition. It has to make business sense, but at the end of the day, we view as a company that not participating in leading in this transition, puts our own sustainability as a company at risk. And so it's a critical piece. And look, the team in India is touching all of those pillars, right? Whether, product safety, circular carbon, circular plastics, and renewable, application solutions. So, I think that's one thing that motivates our young employees today. It motivates our businesses. And certainly, as you know, from the value chain, the demand for these solutions is ever increasing.
Thanks, Bob. And you mentioned plastics. So, globally, currently, there's a movement against single-use plastics, right? And India is also one such country which is trying to, take measures to curb its use. How does SABIC, if you can share more details on it?
Yeah.
How does SABIC view its role in this particular space, which is very, very fast evolving? And how do you plan to enable those solutions for packaging?
Yeah, look, we view addressing the end of life of plastics as a critical issue for us, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'll take the example of COVID-19 and kind of, what we learned through this pandemic, right? I mean, one of the things that we learned, and it's become an acceleration in the sustainability front, is that, despite the challenges with plastics that, you highlighted on the end of life, they provide a pretty critical role in our lives, right? When it comes to PPE, when it comes to medical equipment, when it comes to making our food safe, transporting our goods safe, they play a critical role. But that's why it's so essential that despite these benefits, that we address the end of life of the plastic, right? Because we need it as a sustainable solution in our lives. And so, I think that's why we took the initial step as part of our, the True Circle platform I referenced, to commercialize advanced recycling solutions back in 2019 at our facility in Helene. It's why we're scaling more advanced recycling with our first commercial unit that will be operational next year in Helene. But that it's not just an advanced recycling footprint, that we're focusing on the other pieces I highlighted, the mechanical recycling, where we can bring resins that enable higher recycled content. The design for recycling, because I think, is another critical one. And, is something that, just building off what you said, the market had actually gone to, in my perspective, over-designed solutions in many applications, right? Everybody was focused on functionality and performance and not necessarily thinking about life cycle. And so, I think now you have to really spend time in the value chain to say, look, for this packaging application, what is the right design criteria? How do we design in recyclability from the beginning? How do we simplify where possible the structures? So it's a critical role for us to play in that. And honestly, you need material providers, you need converters, you need brand owners, even machine manufacturers. You need everybody to work together to make that happen. It requires a collaboration across all those pieces. But we view that we have a responsibility as part of that, right, to bring that forward. And honestly, from a selfish perspective, the market is going to value the solutions. We'd rather be a part of helping design the right solutions, right, and to be a leader through this transition. So I think we embrace it. We also are embracing, what I think is the biggest issue, because it's not, converting the plastic, whether it's the mechanical or chemical recycling, that in and of itself, yes, there's complexity and cost, but the technologies exist to be able to do this, and we'll continue to advance the quality of the technology there. But one of the biggest challenges is on the waste collection, sortation, waste, overall waste management infrastructure. And it's why, I'm proud of our founding membership in the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, which is, as you're probably aware, a cross value chain organization that's really focused on investment in projects to go address that infrastructure question. I mean, obviously there are other parts to the investment strategy, but infrastructure is a big piece of it, because it really requires different solutions for local communities versus larger cities, and making sure that you come up with the right models for addressing the collection and bringing in solutions on the sortation side. So I'm quite excited about that. We just finished our board meeting in New York last week, and tremendous progress on the investments that are happening there. More work critically needed to scale those. But I'm glad that we're a part of it, right? And that's not something that we can do as a material producer on our own, right? That requires, waste management, converters, producers, brand owners that are going to be engaged in new packaging formats. It requires technology providers that can bring new solutions. So it requires a much more diverse ecosystem, which is why I think the Alliance is a great approach towards addressing that.
Okay, so you're saying tremendous progress being made on investments also, when it comes to these areas. So can you also share with me, Bob, what will be some of the biggest highlights or the key developments going forward for SABIC's growth from a sustainability point of view, particularly?
Yeah, look, I think
India and globally,
I'll maybe focus globally as well as in India, if that's okay. So, look, I think globally, we're investing in advanced recycling technologies, right? I mentioned the footprint in Helene that's going to be commercialized next year at a larger scale. It's already commercial, but big investment going on in Helene in the Netherlands right now. We are also investing in low carbon solutions for some of our products like olefins. You may have seen the announcement we have with BASF and Linde, where we're working on electrifying our olefin crackers, which is a significant way to bring our carbon footprint down. We're also collaborating on ways to bring hydrogen into our footprint, right? Looking at ways on blue and green hydrogen and ammonia and the roles that those can play. So I think globally, we're really looking across all those avenues. If you look at our path on carbon neutrality, it really is focused on reliability improvements, on increasing our renewable energy capacity, on leveraging electrification, on leveraging hydrogen, and then on carbon capture, right? And I think you're going to see efforts from us across all of those in terms of projects. But the India team is playing a critical role in a number of those areas, right? So from a technology perspective, and I'll just highlight one. I mean, a lot of our developments on developing of plastic circularity and advanced recycling, a lot of those pyrolysis technologies are being developed by our team in Bangalore. So critical area role that they play, as well as in supporting a number of other global platforms. So that's a critical spot. And I think one thing that maybe is a smaller piece, but I think speaks to the mindset is the site in Bangalore has made considerable investments to bring its carbon neutrality down. I think 85% reduction to date with a plan towards full carbon neutrality. A small part from one of our research centers, but it goes to the mindset, right? That this isn't something that's just one asset, one product line focused, but is really at the core of how we're trying to change our culture and thinking around our footprint. So, I think the team is tremendous there at the role that they play. And again, from a engineering, process technology capability, they're going to be critical for us. And lastly, on the application side, the team in India is critically focused on helping to enable all of these material innovations around EV and other areas. So again, there's a global story of what we're doing, but really proud of the role that the team in Bangalore is playing.
Thanks, Bob. No doubt. Sustainability. Largely speaking, it's a very very important and crucial topic for everyone these days. And thanks for sharing such a great perspective. From your point of view. Now, what are the different topics we're looking at within sustainability, and what are the different steps being taken in each one of them? A very very great discussion, a very enriching discussion. Thanks, Bob, for your time, and that would be all. And I really hope to host you again on this platform. Thanks for your time,
Excellent.
Bob. Please carry on.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Sudhir. Take care. Yeah, thank
Pleasure.
you.